Hey guys, PIEGUYRULZ here, and it was a year and 2 months ago that I took a look at the Boomerang streaming service on my channel. And so, you know what? Enough time has passed, and this is a service that I still really want to like. So I figure it would be interesting to give it another chance to see what has changed in the year that since I've looked at it, and to see if there's made any improvements, to see if it's worth getting at this point, because I really didn't think it was in the first place. So you see, you got the homepage here, and they highlight some new stuff, which is nice. They highlight, let's see, new and exclusive, best of Boomerang. That's pretty subjective, but all right. Popular movies, sure. And then top playlist. It's very basic, very bare bones. It's trying to be kind of Netflixy, and it's nice that they have a place to highlight the new stuff, but there's really, like, I don't know. I'd rather look at like a list of the shows since they don't really have that many. And so you have this page for that. Now, one of the things I critiqued about the service initially was just that like there was a severe lack of 2000s and even mostly 2000s, I guess, 90s and 2000s Cartoon Network originals, either stuff that they acquired from like WB or just mostly like Cartoon Network originals, cartoons, and I guess what is classified as Cartoon Network originals. Back when I when I looked at the service initially, they had Gym Partner, Juniper Lee, and Courage, and that was it. And that's still pretty much it. The only other Cartoon Network original is Camp Lazlo, which they added actually pretty soon after I like made my video. So in that time, unfortunately, they haven't added a lot in that way. I think they're missing out on a big demographic here that Nickelodeon is capitalizing on, but this service doesn't seem to want to do it. And actually, just looking at this page, I mean, even just from the new show banners, the only really new things I'm seeing are Cloudy with a Chance, which is a show that didn't last on Cartoon Network. Like, which just kind of makes Boomerang look like a dumping grounds, which was what the Boomerang Network has been for a while. But it really doesn't instill much confidence in me when, like, this is something they're actively promoting and showing as some sort of big deal, like, new show. It's something that wasn't popular in the first place. It's fine that it's on here. Like, I don't think it's taking up space from anything else. But to have it be so prominent, the fact that they don't really, like, the all shows isn't organized well, I don't think. I think is a misstep, and I think just does not instill confidence in me. And this Dorothy show, I don't know what it is, looks really cheap. It looks like a newer show. They have a free episode. I'm really not going to watch it. Does not look like something that interests me, but whatever. It's another thing that, like, okay, they're pushing, but that doesn't look like it's a big hit. It's fine. You know, more content, the better, I think, but maybe it shouldn't be so prominent. If I were to organize this, I would probably make a whole section for your, like, Looney Tunes stuff, a whole section for Tom and Jerry, a whole section for, anything Hanna-Barbera, and then a whole section for just like newer shows from the 90s, 2000s, and today. That's how I would organize it, and I think that might make more sense, and you could kind of maybe have this stuff without having it be so prominent, having it seem like this is like really what the core of the the service is, what I'm really paying for. But yeah, there's a second page. There's no new cartoons on here. A lot of older stuff, and yeah, I mean, I think I may have said it in the first video, but they're really pushing hard on your Bugs Bunny, Flintstones, and Tom and Jerry, and Scooby-Doo. And while these are franchises that have proven successful over many decades, and they are still, in a lot of cases, very quality content that is kind of timeless and ageless in a way, these are things that have been promoted heavily on the Boomerang Network in past years, promoted heavily on Cartoon Network in past years. These are things that have DVD releases. These are things that if you want to see them, there are other ways of seeing them. This is not some sort of like big get for Boomerang to have this stuff. I don't think. I think that the people that are really diehard into these shows already own them on DVD. I'm not saying that other people don't care about the shows, but to pay for a monthly service when this is really all you get, I don't know. Like, the Looney Tunes aren't the sort of thing that, I mean, in my opinion, they're not the sort of thing that I really want to watch, like, every day, or that I think is worthwhile to have to go back to all the time. For me, they're a novelty. They're something that I enjoy. They're something that I like watching, but I'm not going to really pay this much to watch them. I'm not going to continually watch them month after month. There's only so much content of, like, the Looney Tunes that exists out there, and as like Boomerang the Network found this out, that you can't just keep rerunning the same things over and over again. Same sort of thing with a streaming service. If I was sick of it on the original Boomerang, I'm sick of it here. And the new content, or the content that is exclusive to Boomerang here, is just not that interesting, like Bunnicula or Cloudy with a Chance. It's like, that's not doing it for me. Now, you might be thinking that there is nothing like new or interesting on here, and that's actually not even true. See, here's the thing. Here's the weird thing, right? You have these character portraits, and it looks like they were made to kind of stretch out like how much content they actually have, make it look like they have more than they do. But when you click on them, you see Bugs Bunny here, you see Looney Tunes, like the classic Looney Tunes, new Looney Tunes, and the Looney Tunes show. What you don't see is Baby Looney Tunes. Why is Baby Looney Tunes its own separate thing? Why does that get its special treatment when this doesn't? Is it a marketing thing? I don't know. I don't know why it's like that. More importantly, though, if I was just someone scrolling through here, just taking a quick peek, like, hey, is this service worth getting? Because this is what you see when you're not subscribed to it. You can still see all these shows. I mean, you could see that these shows exist. You can't actually see them all. If I was scrolling through, I'd be like, oh, okay, they added Camp Lazlo. Otherwise, nothing new, nothing I want to see. Whatever. That's not true. If you click on Daffy Duck, you will see Duck Dodgers is here. Okay, that's a Warner Brothers show that was from the 2000s that has kind of been lost to time in a lot of ways. There wasn't really much in the way of official releases as far as I know. This is something that I think would be worth checking out. This is something that interests me. This is the sort of semi-obscure content that I think that Boomerang could be well known for. And they have, no, I just kind of want to see how much was on here. They have, looks like the entire show. So there you go. That's great. This is a great get. Why is it buried? And if you even look on like the home page, okay, it's not up here. It's not over here. It's not in new and exclusive. Now, I don't know how long ago they added it. Maybe they added it a while ago, but it's not in Best of Boomerang. Okay, it's here, right? Him in costume that you wouldn't even necessarily think is from Duck Dodgers. You might think it's from the Duck Dodgers shorts of the original Looney Tunes, but you wouldn't automatically know, and it's all the way down here. Like, how bad is that? Why don't you promote this? This is something worth promoting. If it's new to Boom, why isn't it under new and exclusive? I don't get it. And then that's the other thing. You see the other one on here. And it's not even new shows. It's just like a mishmash of like an episode from the new things they've added. Weird. You'll see under Looney Tunes, because Taz doesn't have his own square, Tasmania is another show. I've never seen Tasmania, but it's this, like, again, another semi-obscure 90s, Duck Dodgers was 2000, Tasmania's 90s, but it's another semi-obscure show that is pretty much exclusive to here. I don't know if it had any home video release or whatever, but, like, certainly if these did, they're very obscure. Like, this is the sort of show I'd be interested in checking out, but it's buried. I wouldn't have seen it. I wouldn't have known unless someone specifically tweeted that these shows existed, which is how I saw it. Unless people tweeted that, I would never have known. How bad is that? Like, the things that I think are actually interesting on here are the things that are hidden. Like, oh great, promote Huckleberry Hound or whatever, but don't promote the interesting new shows you got. So, and those are really the two shows that excite me. Like, I would be interested in seeing some Camp Lazlo, some Gym Partner, maybe checking out Juniper Lee for the first time. Courage, cool. And yeah, if I had the service, I'd probably take a peek in at the Flintstones and the Looney Tunes. But if I had it, but I wouldn't be going specifically for these things. And I really don't think these are enough shows to get me to want this service. If you look, it's this service is $4.99 a month. If you do it month by month, if you want the whole year, you can get a little discount and pay $40. I just don't think this is enough content for that. I mean, you're looking at something that's essentially, you're paying half, a little less than half for like Hulu or Netflix, and you're getting so much less content. What makes it funny too is that it specifically says no refunds on here. And also that, let's see, to avoid recurring charges, you must cancel before the end of free trial or current billing period. Like, thanks for explicitly saying that. Like, we know you're trying to make money here by getting people who want to cancel but forgot to do it. But, like, they point blank say it, which is just kind of funny. But yeah, I still think this is, like, too much money for it. And what's silly is that there is a free trial. It used to be a month. I believe it's a week now. The shows that I'm interested in seeing on here, I could just watch in the free trial. Or I could pay for 1 month and then just cancel it because there's not enough on here to have it for a permanent basis. The only thing I see here is if you have kids that are really into Scooby-Doo. Because Scooby-Doo has a ton of content between multiple shows, tons of movies, which we'll look at the movies too. If you have kids that are just in love with Scooby-Doo, I could see getting this service. And they even put Scooby-Doo as the first thing on here. That's really it. If they're trying to appeal to my demographic, which I don't think they are, they lost it when they don't have enough of the Cartoon Network original and cartoons. If they're trying to appeal to the people who are like the older people who really love Scooby-Doo and Looney Tunes and stuff like that, I don't think you're going to get those either because they're historically not big on streaming. They're a smaller demographic in the streaming world, and also those people have the shows on DVD. The people who are really into Looney Tunes have the collector's editions. And if you're trying to get younger kids that aren't really into specifically Scooby-Doo or Looney Tunes already, there's just not enough other content on here that's going to interest the really young crowd. I think if you had more cartoons, it wouldn't just appeal to people like me, but it would appeal to younger people who have heard about these shows like Ed, Edd n Eddy, but maybe have never seen them. Let's take a look at the movies real quick. So they do have a decent amount. A lot of it. Oh goodness. They do have a decent amount, but a lot of it is like the same character basically. They have a lot of Garfield. They have Horton Hears a Who, which is that's cool, that's interesting, that's different. But then they also have, so like a lot of it is like this, Jetsons and WWF or Robo WrestleMania. Okay. They've got a lot of the classic classic Scooby-Doo movies that aired on Cartoon Network in the 90s and 2000s. But then they also have like the more current ones that seem like they were just kind of slapped together on a low budget to just crank them out. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of movies, and there's a few that I'd kind of be interested in seeing. Oh God, what is this nightmare? But overall, it seems like it's a lot of kind of shoveled in content here, phoned in content. Like, look, you got Tom and Jerry, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. When the movie has to put original movie on the cover just because people might confuse it with the actual Willy Wonka movie, you might have run into a problem there, guys. I don't know. It might be time to stop. But yeah, the movies are, and they're all, like, this listing is a mess here. You have enough under, like, specific banners. Like, there's 3 Flintstones things right here that you could just make a Flintstones category. You could make separate categories, but instead, it's just all kind of like here. So yeah, I don't think that really does it for me. Now, so with my verdict for what the service is right now, I think it has improved, certainly. Like Duck Dodgers, Tasmania, I think that's the type of content I think should be on there. But it's still not like a huge improvement. It's not something that I would personally get. It's not something that I could really recommend. The only thing I could recommend is either getting the free trial, watching what you want to watch, like Duck Dodgers, or whatever it is you're interested in, and being done with it, or maybe even subscribing for a month. I think that's what I could recommend. Subscribe for a month, see the things you want to see, and then take it off the billing. Cancel that billing just because it's just not enough content. I don't think so. I think you have to really, really love the very few properties that they're pushing hard, like Looney Tunes, Scooby-Doo, Tom and Jerry, to really want this service, to really think the service is necessary or something worth getting for multiple months. Now, I do want to say that there are a few improvements and a few things that seem to be coming, right? So thank you to CN Schedule Archive on Twitter for tweeting about this, letting me know, and thank you to the original Toon Zone forum post, which I'll post a link down in the description, Commander Beeper on Toon Zone, who has alerted everyone that Boomerang from now on, and he got this from customer service, and I think this is true, this seems to be true, from now on they are going to be releasing all episodes of the shows they put up. They aren't going to do this weird, like, drip feed of... Because when like Courage came out, and even now, Courage does not have the full series on here. It's got 3 volumes, which presumably are 3 seasons, although I don't even know if they have everything from those 3 seasons. Doesn't even look like it, no. And they were just kind of releasing episodes like weekly for random shows, it seems, which is like a weird way to do this. It didn't even look, as far as I know, they weren't even releasing like full seasons like every month. It was just random episodes, which I understand, like, they might have wanted to do that to keep the service fresh, but when you have so little content to begin with, and when you're trying to compete with the big guys like Netflix and Hulu who do post things all at once, or at least when episodes air, doing it like that didn't make any sense. So now Boomerang is going to be putting up the full episode, the full series when they do that, which is great. But like, what about Courage? When are you going to put the rest of Courage up? And this is a change that's going forward. So I don't know, it might be too little too late, but that is a positive change. And then the other thing this Toonzone user has done is made a list of information taken from the HTML source code of the individual pages using the inspect tool. So what's in bold are currently available to watch, and what's not is just on the Boomerang website. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually going to come to Boomerang, but it means that they're at least planning for it to come, or at least they're trying to get it on there, or they have plans to do it. The big ones to me is that Codename Kids Next Door is on here, which I think is exactly the kind of show that should be on here. And oh, good, Yo Yogi might be coming. That's terrific. Teen Titans is the other one, the original Teen Titans. Those two shows I think would be another big get. I think those are also shows that are like perfect for this service, even if they do have some other versions of home releases and they have in the past or whatever. I think that those are also shows that people are interested in, people would like to go back and see again. There's like a big interest right now in Teen Titans franchise. Those are things you need, but even that is still, I don't think, enough. Like, you gotta, if you're gonna charge me monthly for anything, even if it is only $333, which it is only that if you go for the full package at once, I gotta see some more content here. I gotta see something exciting. I gotta see, I don't know. It needs more, I think. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I would be really curious to see anyone that thinks that this is a worthwhile endeavor, like why you think that. I definitely don't. I could definitely understand why. I think there are reasons, especially if you're really into like Scooby-Doo or something. But I'm just kind of curious to see other viewpoints, if there's anything I'm missing here, if there's any other content that I didn't see on here that's new and interesting, but Boomerang is hiding it. Please let me know. Let me know what you think. And maybe I'll do another checkup on this in another year if anything interesting has actually come out for it. We'll see what happens. Boomerang, Cartoon Network, and Time Warner, they were all bought by AT&T recently, very recently. So it's entirely possible that AT&T is going to come in and do an overhaul of a lot of this stuff, which I think is really sorely needed. The Boomerang channel and just the whole Boomerang branding has really just needed just something new, some new angle for a very long time. And it would be great if they got it. Let me know what you think. And with that, Pie Guy Rules out.